Hey guys, it's Adrian BHA here, bringing you a new video. So the nice folks over at Sovmiku, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, sent me over one of their new solar-powered PTZ Wi-Fi security cameras. This is the CQ1 model. I know we've looked at a lot of PTZ solar-powered cameras in the past, and of course you can check out my channel and see all the different ones that we've looked at. But this one is another one that we can add to that list, and we'll see what all we can do with it. So let's get started. All right, so you can pick this thing up from Amazon's website for about 60 bucks. Now that's currently at an 11% discount. And there's even a coupon for an additional 8% that you're going to want to take advantage of if you're interested in this camera. So with 360-degree PTZ, solar-powered, Wi-Fi capable camera, you're definitely going to want to try this thing out. So without further ado, let's dive right in.
Let's get this thing opened up here. As you can see, lots of information on the outside of the box, kind of explaining the capabilities of the camera. And if we open that lid here, you can see right there on top, we got some instructions on how to set up the camera. And next up, let's see, the solar panel is kind of the first thing there on top. Now this solar panel will have its own mount, which makes it kind of nice because you can place it further away from the camera if you need to make sure that you get the most light for charging the battery. Let's look in this bag here. As you can see, we got two sets of mounting screws, one for the solar panel mount, and then the other one is for the camera mount as well. Those black mount pieces are for the solar panel. We also have a micro USB cable for setting up the camera initially if we needed to. And then of course here is the camera itself. It's got a good amount of weight to it. It's definitely not cheaply made. It looks like the back has that connection for the power, and that's kind of where that solar panel will plug into. Or if you're initially setting it up, that's where you'll plug it in to get the camera added into the app. On the bottom, it has a spot for an SD card slot and the power button. The last thing in the box is the mount for the camera. So the camera has a screw hole on top that will allow you to screw the camera to the mount. But that's pretty much everything that comes in the box. Let's go over the main specs for the camera here. So of course it has 2K resolution, which should look pretty good. This camera is fully PTZ, so you got 360 degrees of coverage area there. Two-way audio using that Vicohome app, so we'll be able to talk directly to the person on the camera from the app. This does support human and pet detection. The micro SD card slot on the bottom will hold up to 128 gigs of storage. And lastly, there is a camera on the light which will allow for color night vision. But that's pretty much it for the main specs of the device. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step and we'll get this thing installed. So I'm going to be installing this on the post in the front of my house. I don't know if you've seen any of my previous videos. I install a lot of these types of cameras out there. It's a great spot for testing. So this should be pretty simple. We're just going to remove this existing camera that we have here and we'll add the new one in its place. And you can see in this clip, the old camera has been removed and we are ready to install the new PTZ camera. Now remember, the camera and solar panel are mounted separately. So this first clip is the camera mount. 4 screw holes for mounting that. And then this next clip has both the camera and solar panel mount in place as well. Then of course, lastly, you can see I have the camera and solar panel all connected up, and looks pretty good. Very easy to get that thing set up. Like I said, that camera just kind of screws into the mount there right on top. But let's go ahead and move on to the next step, and we'll get this camera added into the Vicohome app on my phone. All right, so you want to search for the Vicohome app in the App Store. That is where you're going to find this app, and this is kind of what it looks like here. And once we have it installed and created an account, then we are ready to add a new device. So we will hit the plus in the top corner there. And first things first, it wants us to hold the power button down on the bottom of the camera until we hear the camera making a sound. And as you can see here, immediately it saw the camera, so we will go ahead and select that here. And now it's ready for us to put in our Wi-Fi information. Now make sure that you are using 2.4 gigahertz on the Wi-Fi because it does not support 5 gigahertz. So we're going to add that information here. It looks like next up it's going to have us connect directly to the ad hoc network that's on the camera itself. So we just have to wait for it to finalize that connection, and there it is. Connection has succeeded. So we can now give it a name if we want. I'm just going to call it Front PTZ. And as for location, I'm going to say front door. It looks like now it wants to check that Wi-Fi signal just to make sure that you have a strong signal. And as you can see, everything looks good there. We have a strong signal. It's asking us how the camera is going to be powered. So we're going to select solar panel here. It says you can select auto on after charging. Now this probably won't be much of an issue for us since we will be plugged into a solar panel and it will stay pretty much charged all the time. And then it looks like last part of this is just kind of wants to go through the installation, which we've already done, so we can kind of skip ahead through that. If we wanted to purchase a cloud subscription, we could do that here, but I'm going to stick with the free one for now. All right, so we have it added into the app. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step, and we'll go over our config options in the app. Here we are back in the app, and you can see we got PTZ control here. And we can kind of move it around, and I will tell you the response time is amazing. There's usually a little delay with these PTZ cameras, and this one is crazy responsive. But you got your usual controls here, enable, disable sound. We can sound the alarm if we want. We can record and take screenshots. We can set default positions if we wanted to, as well as start a two-way conversation with the person on the other end of the camera. We also have the ability to turn on the light as well. But let's hit the settings button there towards the top. And of course, if you hit that first section there at the top, you can see all the info about the camera itself. Pretty much any information that you need is listed here. Now under motion detection, we can enable, disable motion detection. We can change the sensitivity if we needed to. We can change the duration. I'm leaving everything to default for now. We can adjust the default recording length for events if we wanted to as well. We can even set the camera to go to sleep at certain times of the day. If we go over to notification settings, this is where we could disable notifications, or even set activity zones, so it will only send notifications on things triggered in those areas. Alert settings is where we can enable audible alarms on motion detected, as well as flashlight alarms. So at night it would flash the light if motion is detected if we wanted it to. So under video settings, we can set the default recording resolution. So it defaults to SD, and I think I want to change it to 2K to take full advantage of that 2K resolution. Now, obviously, whatever storage you are using, whether it's their cloud service or an SD card, the higher the resolution, the more storage it will take up. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can adjust the flicker frequency if we needed to, and of course, modify from black and white to color night vision. So I prefer to use color night vision, which of course will have it turn that light on at night when motion is detected. If you're using an SD card, then the SD card management is where you could come to check the status of your card, as well as format the card if you needed to. Lighting settings. I thought this would be about turning the light on and off, or maybe even adjusting the brightness, but it's actually only to turn on off the indicator light on the front of the camera, so kind of strange there. Power settings. This is where you can adjust what type of power you were using if you wanted to. And then lastly, under audio settings, you can adjust the volume of the alarm as well as microphone for that two-way audio. You can also disable audio on recording if you want to do that as well. But that's pretty much it as far as what you're able to do in the app itself. Let's move on to the last step. I'll show you some footage recorded from the camera as well as give you my final thoughts. So here is some footage recorded from the camera. So we have some nighttime footage here, a couple of different clips. 2K quality, looks pretty nice. All these cameras are really starting to run together. Their 2K quality all looks pretty good. And then of course we got the daytime footage here as well. And again, nice clear footage. Everything looks nice. So this CQ1 PTZ camera. Sovmiku has it on Amazon for about $60, and that's not necessarily a bad price. The main thing that I really liked about the camera is how responsive the PTZ controls were. I mean, I have not seen a camera that responds that quickly, and I've tested quite a few PTZ cameras. The downside, it uses a Vicohome app, which obviously this is the first time I've even used that app, so I have no other cameras that work with it. This being a battery-powered Wi-Fi camera, there's no RTSP or OnVIF capability, so you're not going to be able to pull it into your NVR, so you're going to be relying on that Vicohome app. Now, if you do have other cameras that use that Vicohome app, then this may be something you want to look at. Like I said, for a solar-powered PTZ camera, it's not bad. I'll have a link to Sovmiku's website, as well as their Amazon storefront in the description below. If you're not interested in this particular camera, head over there and see what deals they currently have running.
I want to thank everybody for donating to my Buy Me a Coffee link. Every little bit helps. If you haven't had a chance, head over to my spring merchandise page and check out all of the Burns home automation merchandise. And if you're looking for the latest smart home gear, you're going to want to check out Smonet. I'll have a link in the description below. Head over there and see what deals they currently have running. And if you're looking for the latest smart window treatment, you're going to want to check out Smartwings. I'll have a link in the description below for them as well. Head over there and see what deals they currently have running. And if you're interested in buying and selling stock or maybe cryptocurrency, you're going to want to check out Robinhood. I'll have a link in the description below. If you sign up with that link, you and I both will get a free share of stock. It's a win-win for both of us. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. As always, if there are any videos out there that you would like to see that I don't already have out there, let me know in the comments as well, and I'll see if I can't get something put together for you guys. Alright, I'll see you guys around.